families, mostly children, have come to the southern border, entered the United States with the hopes of being safe, of being protected. Today, if you were to come to southern border, you may think that there's no humanitarian crisis anymore, that the hundreds and hundreds of immigrant families that were coming and that we were seeing in the past have magically disappeared. They're not there anymore. Yet, if you really were to look underneath the surface, it's almost as if they were put under the rug. Because what you will find at the border today is that there are the many families that are coming presently today to the border asking for protection and for safety are being asked to go back to Mexico and wait at the border. And these families are there at the border. What you would see now at the border would be what is now a tent city, right across the Rio Grande in the Mexican Matamoros, Mexico area. And so these families are having to wait there for so many weeks, for so many months, some maybe even up to a whole year, because they have to wait hoping that they will be having their asylum claim be accepted and be allowed to come into the United States so that they could be able to be safe. But in the meantime, as they wait, they have to live in terrible conditions in the other side of the border. If you were to come to South Texas and be at this refugee, what now is a refugee camp, you would see so many children running around everywhere, playing. More than likely, these children are dirty because they haven't had a chance, an opportunity to get cleaned up or showered, because there's very few facilities. Some of the families actually go to the polluted river to wash themselves. If you have an opportunity to come and meet the families, you would learn from them that they've left their country because they're afraid. They left their country because they're afraid of the gangs and the violence, these ruthless gangs that will stop at nothing to take what they want. So the families flee their country, mostly to protect their children, to make sure they're safe. This is why these moms come. If you get to know them, you will find out that they are not criminals. They're actually decent human beings. They're not criminals like most people define them and are afraid of them. They're here only because they want a chance at life to take care of their families. And so, if you were to come, you would also, if you get to know them, you will also know that there are mothers and children that they're hoping they would have a chance in this country. That they're not here in the United States to be on any free benefits or even any kind of welfare, but rather they want to be part of the social, the working class, so that they could be able to contribute to this country in a positive way. I wish that if you were to come to South Texas and come to this tent city, you would have a chance to meet the actual heroes that are there every day helping these families. Some of these heroes are the attorneys who carry heavy loads, working very hard to represent these families in court, so that when they come to their asylum hearings, they could be very prepared. Yet they are heartbroken, and no matter how hard they work to represent these families, whether they win or lose their case depends very much on what judge they happen to draw for that day. There are many many other champions as I see them that do amazing work, dedicate hours and hours to help these families. They risk their life to go across to the Mexican border and to help these families because they are convinced that out of their own caring nature, that this is important to do, to restore the dignity of these families that are there suffering at the border. So I think that these people, these champions as I call them, are truly what makes humanity the best. And that this is the kind of people that we need today in our world. If you were to come and see this tent city, the kind of stories that you would witness are like the one when I ran into this mother that was coming back from one of her asylum hearings, and when she was coming back, she was crying, and she tells me as she arrived to the camp again, and she said, "They were so cruel to me. I was told that I should go back. My asylum claim was denied. That I should go back and work in my country. And I don't know what to do because I'm afraid to go back. My husband was killed, and I know if I go back with my daughter and I would also be killed. So I don't know what to do now." And as she was there with me crying, the only thing I could do was cry with her as she cried in my shoulder. Devastated, uncertain as to what was her next step. How can she protect her child? In the meantime, life continues to be terribly wrong for so many families who are there, victims of our failed immigration policies. To some of us, this is wrong. It definitely is a slap in the face of the sacredness of life. It is wrong because it goes against who we are as decent human beings who believe that respect to human life is a must. It is wrong because God has made us to care. The question we might want to ask ourselves is, what can we do? In the words of Pope Francis, we can break away from this globalization of indifference, this I don't care attitude about what we are seeing in our world today, thinking it is not my problem. Why should I care? This attitude of indifference is destroying our very humanity, making us merciless at the face of human suffering. I think that it is up to us to care, to reclaim our humanity, and to do something about what we are seeing at the border, beneath the surface.